Okay, hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and this is a really exciting one. It is my first trimester recap, which is, I still can't believe that I am making this video. This is my first trimester recap. Today we did our maternity pregnancy reveal shoot, and I'm really excited to finally be able to share that we're expecting. By the time that I'm recording this, I am 4.5 months pregnant. I am 18 weeks actually, so I'm into my second trimester already. Since I found out I was pregnant, I did like I call it my pregnancy diary in my phone, in my notes app, which is just every single day I would write down symptoms I was feeling, how I was doing, what was going on during that time. I found out that I was pregnant. I was 4 weeks and 3 days pregnant, so I found out pretty early on. I was in the States with my family, so I wasn't with T in Bangkok here. Before I found out I was pregnant, I actually got really sick. I had just flown back to the US with my family, and I had I don't know if it was the flu or not, but it was like a really, really bad cold I had. It wasn't COVID. I had body aches, I had chills, I was sweating in bed, I was sleeping all day long, but I didn't have a fever, runny nose. I didn't cough though, I don't think. So I don't really know what it was, but I was really, really sick for like a week, and I took medicine during that week as well. So basically that whole time that before I found out I was pregnant, I had a lot of jet lag and also really bad insomnia, and I have never been someone who's had bad insomnia. Like, jet lag is one thing, sure, but then I get over that, and then usually sleeping is fine for me. But it was like 3 weeks into being in the US and having adjusted to the time difference, and I was still not sleeping well. And I mean, I would sleep from 11 to 2 a.m. and then I would wake up and I would stay awake until the next day at 3 p.m. and then take a quick nap there, and then I would wake up and then do the same thing over and over again. I was getting no sleep. I had a really hard time sleeping, which I thought was so weird because, as I said, I'm not someone who's ever dealt with insomnia before, so I was like, what is going on with me? I was so tired, you guys, that I had super dark circles under my eyes, black under my eyes. And I remember one day I was looking in the mirror and I was like, oh shoot, I forgot to take off some makeup. There's some mascara that's still under my eyes, and then I was wiping it and it wasn't makeup, it was just really dark circles because I was really tired. So I mean, obviously then there's that. I was very fatigued in the first trimester. Naps were a guaranteed thing every day. I had no energy whatsoever. Okay, I'm just gonna go through all the symptoms that I had during my first trimester because this is getting a little messy. I was moody in the beginning, I was sensitive, and I think I was overwhelmed by knowing that I was pregnant and all the things that I needed to know, and I wanted to get a bunch of stuff from the States before I came back to Thailand, because there's a bunch of stuff that you can't get here that you get in the States. So I was trying to figure all that out. And then I had this was really weird. Temperature regulation was so off for me. I would get so hot, hot flashes almost. And I was just oh my God, I'm so hot right now. And it's just so random and so sudden. And then also I would get really, really cold really easily. And I'm someone who normally, I don't get really hot, I don't get really cold very easily. But during that first trimester, and still now, I can get really hot super suddenly and also be very sensitive to cold. So I did have cramping and sharp pains every once in a while in my stomach, and then sometimes I felt pressure in my lower abdomen quite often in the beginning. Actually, I was very bloated, super bloated. It didn't matter what I ate, I just always felt bloated. And I think, but if you looked at me and my stomach, I think you would say I looked the same. I didn't look like I was showing, or I didn't look like I'd gained any weight. I just felt very, very bloated. It was just the feeling. And my boobs, oh my gosh, you guys, they've never been so sore ever, 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 ever. I mean, sleeping at night, oh my gosh, just turning over, rolling over in bed, my boobs were in so much pain. it was like aching, and then sometimes you would get like sharp pains. It was just, never had my boob. I mean, when your boobs are sore during period pains is one thing. This is a whole nother extreme. Like it's like times 10. It's crazy. They also started to get like a lot bigger. I had headaches a lot during the day. I was also very stressed out during that time, especially in the beginning when I found out I was pregnant, because we were going through some family stuff, which I will explain in my how I found out I was pregnant video, if you guys want to go check that out. So I was very stressed, and I was not sleeping well with insomnia, and then I just had really bad headaches throughout the day, almost like all the time. I also had in the very beginning like dull aching pains in my upper thighs and both thighs in the morning, and sometimes at night I would have like, it just felt like this dull ache in my thigh. It was really weird. I would also wake up super hungry in the morning, like hunger pangs. I've never experienced these kind of hunger pangs in my life, where it comes on super suddenly. It's like, it like stabs you in the stomach. It's like, ooh, like I'm so hungry. Like it feels like I haven't eaten in days, and I'm like, wow, I'm so super hungry right now. And it's the type of hunger pain that's like, if you don't satiate it right away, it makes me nauseous, and then I feel like throwing up if I don't eat right in that moment. And I've never had hunger pangs like that ever. So that was really interesting. Like I remember one time I was with my sister in LA. We were there for the Taylor Swift concert, and I woke up and I had that deep hunger pain. I had to grab, like, the only thing we had in our room was Doritos, and I had to eat it like at 7 in the morning. I was like, I have to eat something right now or I'm about to throw up. So then I ate the Doritos and felt better immediately. So the hunger pangs were crazy. It's not like I wasn't more hungry than usual, so I didn't have like a bigger appetite or anything. It was just like, it was just in the moments that you get hungry, it's a very intense hunger. Digestion is a big one, you guys. Your digestion slows down a lot when you're pregnant because it releases a hormone that slows down your digestive system. I just felt like I kept getting stuck. Like everything was just like staying in my stomach, and I already have, so I have IBS and irritable bowel syndrome, and so I already have issues with my digestion, and so getting pregnant and having this on top of that has been really difficult in the first trimester. I've had to change my eating habits like tenfold. I eat healthy on a regular basis, but I could get away before with eating like pretty bad and heavy carbs, just heavy stuff for like 2 days, 3 days maybe in a row, and then I pay for it, but I managed to get through it without having like really bad cramping and stuff. But now I can't do that. Like I can't even get away, I feel like, with 1 day of eating unhealthy because my stomach just can't handle it. And then I ended up, like, there was one time during my first trimester where I didn't use the bathroom, sorry if this is TMI, but I didn't go to the bathroom for like 5 days. Can you imagine how like heavy and bloated and stuck I felt at that point? And that was kind of like a wake-up call for me, because I've been very scared of, because since I have IBS, I've had episodes in the past where I have the most intense cramping and pain in my stomach. I stay in bed the whole day. I have chills, aches, my body gets really hot, and I throw up, and then I have like, I'm on the toilet like the whole day. Like it's really bad. I have medicine that I take to help with the stomach cramping, because that cramping, I've never felt more pain in my life. I've been really scared to repeat that or have an episode of that while pregnant, because I haven't checked actually, but I don't think you can take the meds that I used to take for the cramping when you're pregnant. Maybe you can, but honestly, I also don't want to be taking any medicine if it's not necessary while I'm pregnant. So I've been trying my best to avoid any type of medication that's not necessary while pregnant. But the first trimester was hard because I hadn't figured all that out yet, and I was also feeling very nauseous a lot, and so I had to eat carbs. I had to eat a lot of carbs to help with the nausea, like crackers, rice. I also had a heartburn when I would eat like spicy food or really heavy food. I would get intense heartburn. But to be honest, in the first trimester, heartburn wasn't actually a huge issue. I think I had it maybe like 3 times during my first trimester. It wasn't really that often, and it wasn't, surprisingly, it wasn't so bad. I also would get super short of breath after doing the most normal things like showering. When I would take like a full body shower, like wash, shampoo my hair, like do everything, I would be whipped afterwards. Like I'd get out of the shower and be like I need to sit down, and it was so bizarre because I'm like, that is so weird. Why am I so out of breath? Am I super unfit that I can't take a shower? But I think it just comes with the territory, like especially in your first trimester. Sometimes I'd be standing in the kitchen with my mom and like talking to her, or I'd be like making eggs or something, and I would just get this pang, like I would get short of breath. I would get really dizzy, sometimes really hot, and like, oh my gosh, I'm about to like faint right now. I need to sit down. And so that happened quite a bit in the first trimester. Something that really helped when that would happen, and also when I would get nauseous, I was like, apple juice. I need apple juice. I don't drink apple juice like ever, and it's not like my favorite drink ever or anything. Nothing special, but I was just like, my body just told me like, you need, it was like a voice in my head that was like, you need apple juice with ice. So that's what I went for. And you guys, apple juice was my clutch the first trimester. I mean, I was drinking apple juice every day, multiple times a day with ice. It had to be with ice, had to be like super cold. That always helped when I felt nauseous or dizzy, or like I was about to faint, or I was short of breath. Like apple juice with ice was like my go-to. I don't think I really had cravings. Like I didn't have specific food cravings, like, oh, I really want to eat that, or I really want to eat this. It was more like I needed something sour, which was really weird because also I'm not someone who likes anything sour. I dislike sour things. And so, but my body, it's like your body removes itself. It's like it becomes a whole nother person of its own, and then it tells you what it needs. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but my body was just talking to me and was like, hey, we need apple juice, or like, hey, we need something sour now. And so like I was like, okay, like I need something sour. So for example, I would have lemonade, and I never drink lemonade, but it helped. Like in the moments I felt nauseous, I would like, I need lemonade, and then I would drink lemonade and then feel better right away. So it was really weird. As I mentioned, I did have nausea, I had morning sickness, and that only hit really, so I found out when I was 4 weeks, but I didn't feel any nausea or anything until I was about 7 weeks pregnant. So I had a solid like 3 weeks there that I wasn't sick or anything. But when it hit, it really hit. So I was nauseous, I would say from week 7 to 11. And after that, almost when I was 12 weeks, it was kind of like a switch, you guys. It was really strange. And then I was rarely ever nauseous. I felt like a new person when I hit 12 weeks. It was really weird. And they always say like in your second trimester is like the golden trimester, and that's when morning sickness subsides, and it really did. But it was like a switch for me. I can't remember if it was at 11 or 12 weeks, which was mostly it would happen in the early afternoon or the early evening for me. So it wasn't really, it happened in the morning when I woke up right away, only like a couple of times. I would say there was like, I can only recall maybe 2 times when I would wake up and be like, oh my, I'm about to throw up. Like I'm so nauseous right now. Only a couple times. And then I had to eat right away. Like there was no waiting. There was like eating or throwing up. And I really didn't want to throw up, just because also I was really scared of throwing up messing with my digestion. So I didn't want to throw up, even though sometimes it almost felt like throwing up would have made me feel better, you know, but I just really didn't want to. So I opted to eat something instead and drink apple juice. Also in the car, before I was pregnant, I always got car sick. And it seems like when I got pregnant, the car sickness was like amplified. I got car sick a lot in the first trimester, and then that's the only nausea that kind of stuck around after 12 weeks. Anytime I get in the car, usually I'll get a little bit car sick. At 8 weeks, I had a dream from baby, and I kind of like to think, okay, let me have this, you guys. In my own head, I like to think that was baby making its first contact with me. because my mom also, when she was pregnant, she always had dreams when her babies would come to her and say like, "Mommy, I'm a whatever, like a girl or a boy," you know? And so I had a dream at 8 weeks, and that was the first time I ever dreamed of baby, which was like, oh my God, I could cry thinking about it. And in that dream, the doctor came to me and said, "It's a boy." And so I had that little inkling at 8 weeks. I was like, is it a boy? Because my mom has had dreams in the past, as I mentioned, of her babies telling her whether they're a boy or a girl. And so I had that dream, and I was like, well, could it be the same thing? Like, I didn't want to get my hopes up because I didn't want to like lean one way or the other. So I just took it for what it was and just like said, all right, well, like, let's keep this, let's remember this, and then we'll see if it ends up being true or not, which it was. And so I thought it's so cute, you know? Anyways, I also had very vivid dreams. Before I found out I was pregnant, I had the most vivid dreams ever, and I was like, whoa, what's happening in my brain? Like, I've had so many crazy dreams and super intense dreams, even though I was like barely sleeping. I had insomnia and vivid dreams. I was peeing, I kid you not, 4 times a night. Before, I used to pee maybe once a night. Like, I'd get up to pee once a night, and when I got pregnant, I started to pee like 4 times a night, and I was shocked. And I was like, I don't understand how I'm supposed to be sleeping when I'm peeing 4 times a night. It was so weird. It got a lot better once I hit, I think it was 12 weeks, because they say that your uterus then moves, and it moves up, and it doesn't put as much pressure on your bladder, so then you don't have to pee as much, which was totally true. I now pee maybe once a night or twice a night, not 4 times a night like I used to. But I think it gets worse then later when you get like when you have the big belly and you're, I don't know, at 8-9 months. Right now I'm really enjoying it because I'm only peeing like twice a night. So yeah. So I also had to travel home by myself when I was in my first trimester, and I was traveling so my travel journey was, I flew from Arizona to LA, which was a 1-hour flight. I had an 8-hour layover in the airport in LAX, and then I had a 16-hour flight from LA to Singapore, and then I had, I think it was an hour layover. Yeah, I think it was just an hour layover in Singapore, and then I flew from Singapore to Bangkok, which was 2 hours. But you guys, doing that and being in my first trimester pregnant was rough, to say the least. It was rough, and it was in the height of my nausea. Like, if I had flown home and did all that when I was like, let's say 5 weeks pregnant, I think it would have been manageable. I just would have been really tired, but I didn't have nausea at the time, so I flew back when I was 8 weeks pregnant, which was like the height of my nausea. I was really lucky that the day that I actually did fly back, nausea was not, I didn't wake up with nausea. I woke a little bit when I was packing in the morning. I had a little bit of nausea. I had to lay down, take a quick nap in the morning before I headed off to the airport. But then the whole journey, the trip itself, I was okay until I was on my 16-hour flight. That one was rough because I could not sleep. Usually on those long 16-hour flights, I usually sleep like 6 hours maybe, so it takes a lot of time away from it, and it makes it a little bit more manageable, but I could not sleep. I also started to get really nauseous in the middle of the flight, so they brought food, and they had like red char-siu pork with rice, and I love that. It's so good. But oh, I didn't talk about aversions. So let me backtrack, you guys. Food aversions, the only thing I really had for food aversions was I had a hard time eating salty foods that were sweet. So for example, let's say, you know, like sweet popcorn or like char-siu pork, where it's pork, but it's sweet with like the sauce that they put on it is super sweet. So any foods that are they're salty foods, it's not like cake, cookies that are meant to be sweet. It's like salty foods that have a little glaze or that have a little sugar or a little sweetness to it. I had such a hard time eating that. Like, I would put it in my mouth and be like, I'm about to throw up, because that's what happened on the plane. So she brought the food, the flight attendant brought the food. I took one, it looked so good. I took one bite out of it. It was really good, but I could not eat it. Like, I put it in my mouth and I was like, oh my god. I have chills thinking about it. And I was like, I can't eat any more of this. I want to because I'm hungry and that looks really good. But my body just, it will not let me eat any more of that, or else I will throw up. Like, I actually will throw up. So I took one bite of it, and then I leaned back and I was just like practicing like my breathing, because that also helps with the nausea. It's like breathing. And then like 30 minutes later, she came back and she saw that I took like one bite out of my food, and she's like, is the food like not okay? Like, are you okay? So I just told her that I was pregnant, because it was easier than being like, oh, like trying to find some reason why I wasn't eating the food even though it was good. Like, I didn't want her to think that, you know, I had some problems. So I was like, I'm pregnant and I'm really nauseous, so I just don't think I can eat anymore. So she was really nice about it, and she's like, okay, no worries, like, are you okay? Like, do you have the medications you need? You have like everything that you need to do? I was like, I haven't even seen the doctor yet. I'm just struggling, like, and she's like, okay, well, let us know like if you need anything. And I was like, okay, thank you so much. So that was rough. I was really lucky that I packed snacks that I knew I could eat on the flight. So I packed like bars that I like to eat. I had like a peppermint chocolate bar, which was so good. Like the Luna, I think it was a Luna bar that I used to eat in high school. And it was so good. I ate that on the plane. So pack snacks, you guys. If you're going through nausea and you need to like go on a trip anywhere, pack the snacks that you know that you can tolerate when you're nauseous, and that helps you. So then I got home to Thailand, and I was 9 weeks, and we went to our first doctor's appointment, and we did an ultrasound, and we got to see baby, and we got to hear baby's heartbeat, which was so crazy. That finally made it real. No one ever tells you that the time from when you find out you're pregnant, which is, for me, it was really early, it was 4 weeks, to the time that a doctor will actually see you in most places, is a really long time. So I found out at 4 weeks, and I didn't go see the doctor till I was 9 weeks. In the US, I tried to go in the US, but they would not see me until I was 8 weeks, and I was already like traveling home at that time, so there was no available slots for me to see a doctor before I left. But it was nice because then I got to do it with Tristan. My whole first trimester, my skin was amazing. Like, I've never had better skin in my whole life, and it's not like I was doing anything special. Like, I wasn't drinking like more water, I wasn't eating healthier, nothing special. If anything, I was actually drinking less water and eating way more unhealthy because I needed to. But my skin was just glowing. I'm serious. It was so strange. And now in my second trimester is actually when my skin started to break out again. But I don't know, hormones, man. Those surging hormones in the first trimester did wonders for my skin. Loved it. A little bit worse now, but still pretty okay, I'd say. And first trimester, I also barely moved, you guys. I barely moved. I think I worked out like twice or 3 times, and that was basically all before I started to get sick, like nauseous. So I worked out like before I found out I was pregnant, I worked out right when I found out I was pregnant, and then maybe one time like towards the end of my first trimester I worked out. But there was just no energy. There was a lot of nausea. There were days that I just like was holed up on the couch all day, and then also in bed I would have to sleep, nap a lot. So there was just no time, no energy, nothing for any kind of exercise at all whatsoever, which was really hard for me because before I got pregnant, I was working out like 4 to 5 times a week, every week consistently, and I loved that. And I loved how that made my body feel, and mentally it helped me a lot. And so not being able to do that, and I didn't know if that was gonna last my whole pregnancy or not, and I was so upset about that because I was like, if I'm not gonna work out ever for the next 9 months, like I don't want to do that, but I can't physically bring myself to work out, so is this how it's gonna be? And so I had a lot of like, I was upset. I was pretty upset about that. Even walks, like Tristan would want to bring me out on a walk with the boys, and I remember the first time I went, I was like, I had to walk so slowly. I got so short of breath super fast because also in Thailand it's really hot and humid. I remember walking outside, like one step at a time was so hard for me, and it was just really difficult. So even walking, I would also get dizzy outside, and nauseous when we would go on walks. So barely exercised, barely even went on walks. Towards the end of my first trimester, I was finally able to like go to the park, but I had to just be careful, take it easy, don't walk too fast, drink a lot of water, cold water while walking, and then it was okay. But there was no exercising happening really in the first trimester, you guys. And you know what? I don't beat myself up too much about it because it was rough, you know, and I got through it. And I am a whole different person now in my second trimester, and I am able to work out. I know that there are some women though who are not able to work out at all during their pregnancy, whether it's because their nausea like hangs on until like throughout their whole pregnancy, or they're on bed rest, or you know, some sort of condition that they have that they can't work out. So I feel for those mamas out there. I was just very lucky that my second trimester, everything like turned around, and I became like, I felt like I was reborn again, honestly. Like I felt like myself again, a new person. So, but that's all for the second trimester recap, you guys. All right, and then, oh, surprisingly, okay, at 10 weeks, I couldn't drink apple juice anymore. How weird is that? Like once the nausea subsided, I think my brain and my body associated apple juice with battling nausea, and so I couldn't drink apple juice anymore. Like, the thought of apple juice after week 10 was like, that made me a little bit nauseous. So I was like, I don't think I can drink apple juice anymore. And to this day, I don't drink apple juice anymore. This is a weird one, you guys, but I was very anti-productivity. It was really weird. I don't know why. Any time that I would think of doing something productive, whether it was like filling out my pregnancy journal, or reading about pregnancy, or listening to a podcast about pregnancy, or anything, or even just like doing my vlogs or something productive, I was like that. Just, I don't know why, but it just was very, like, it made me feel like I wanted to throw up. That was a really strange one. I've never read that anywhere, but it's just like, I just wanted to lay there. I just wanted to, like, pregnancy in the beginning, the thought was like a little overwhelming to me, and so I don't know if that then manifested itself in how I felt towards like being productive. And I don't know, I have to go see my therapist for that one. But anti-productivity, like the first trimester, I couldn't even bring myself to edit vlogs, not even about pregnancy, but just like my normal vlogs. I just did not want to do that. That was a weird one. And then the best part of all is that all my clothes don't fit anymore. Yeah, all my clothes started to not fit because of all the bloating that I was having. I haven't gained like so much weight, but it's just the bloating, and then my belly is starting to come out, and the hips are getting wider, and then my thighs have gotten a little bit bigger. So everything around like here has gotten like bigger, and so my jeans, like I can't wear my jeans. Anyways, yeah, none of my clothes were fitting, and I had to go buy a bunch of new stuff that felt comfortable. And also the beginning was hard because we didn't want to announce or tell anyone that we were pregnant until quite a bit into the pregnancy. Like I don't think we will announce until I'm almost 5 months pregnant. Just a personal thing, and it's something we wanted to just keep for us for a long time. And so but the only hard part of that is that you have to wear clothes then that don't show that you're obviously pregnant. And I didn't start showing until I was, let's say, 4 months pregnant, so it's not even in the first trimester that I started showing. But it was hard to find clothes that I felt comfortable in, that I felt I looked good in, because I still wanted to look good. I didn't want to just wear like a big t-shirt every day, you know? And so it was hard to find things that looked good but also felt good and also fit me, and so that was really difficult. But tea has helped me so much. Slowly I'm building a little capsule wardrobe of things that I can wear when pregnant. In my phone I have like a note page with all pictures of different outfits I've created, so every time like I have somewhere to go, I just look through my little note page of like, what can pregnant me wear today? But everything else in my closet, like I just don't even try. I don't even try to wear stuff that I used to wear because it just makes me sad. And that's like a mental thing. It's like a little mental block that I'm trying to work on to fix, because like I just have to, in my head, you know, it's a different phase in life, and it's a different part of life where my priority is no longer, you know, working out and lifting the heaviest weights that I can, and working out as often as I can, and eating like as healthy as I can, which I'm still trying to eat healthy, but there's just some times where I need something else and I need to not beat myself up for it. I need to, you know, like enjoy a little bit. And I think that's something that I'm slowly wrapping my head around, and to take it easy on myself and just let what will be, and whatever I feel, whatever I need, and just to give in to that, because this phase of life isn't about me. It's about me, and well, it is about me, but it's also about me. It's about me and baby, and I want to do the best job that I can to take care of baby and to give baby everything that he needs to, you know, come out healthy and happy. And so that's where my focus is and my priority is right now. So I'm someone who has a really hard time with change, so the beginning was tough for me, but now I'm slowly starting to kind of lean into it more and enjoy it and love it. I have to say, you guys, Tristan has been the most amazing, supportive partner in all of this. I don't know how I would have done it without him. He has been my rock, like truly my rock in all of this. Like, he's taken such good care of me this whole time, and I could cry thinking about it. He's just been like everything to me, and he's just helped make this whole process like so much easier and so much more enjoyable, helping me figure out what to wear, what to eat, what exercises I want to do, what makes me feel good, talk me through like when I'm having a meltdown about things not fitting or feeling bad or feeling like I'm not doing good enough. He helps me through all of that, and I am so appreciative and so lucky and so grateful for him. I'm so excited for us to be bringing a little mini us into the world. I think this whole experience so far has just been super surreal and also super fascinating. It's fascinating to see how things change, how your body changes, how your body changes in order to grow life and to provide, you know, a safe space for life to grow. And then for at the end of 9 months for it to come out to be an actual human being, and also how love creates life like that. I think just watching everything in myself change, my body, how I think things, my taste, like everything changing, it's just so fascinating, and I'm loving it. It's really cool. So, and at times, like as I said, I still sometimes don't even remember that I'm pregnant, and I'm like, oh wait, I'm pregnant. That is basically all that I have for you in my first trimester. It was rough, and if you guys are in your first trimester and you're having a tough time, trust me, I understand. I've been there. Just know that most of the time it gets better. Your second trimester should provide some relief. I hope and pray for you that your second trimester is better than your first if you're struggling, and that the rest of your pregnancy is super easy, and that you come out of it with a healthy newborn little baby. Thank you so much. I'm sorry if I talked like so much during this video. There was just a lot to get through. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I can't wait to take you along the rest of this journey. And if you're pregnant too, I'm so excited to go on this journey with you guys. Please comment down below if you are also pregnant and where you are in your pregnancy. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.